Now, I was told that it was Bart and Carlin for 4 hours, but now it's apparently the Michael K. show, too. It normally is. Little holiday season schedule. Hey, I'm in for Michael. I'm in for Carlin. I'm in for Bart. Why not? Jake Asman with you till 2. Then Ty Butler is coming up. We got a lot to talk about. We will talk plenty about the Jeff McNeil trade coming up. Got some more thoughts on both the Jets and the Giants here. That game on Sunday, the more you think about it, the more it really is remarkable that the number 1 pick is going to be decided this late in the year with these two teams playing each other, the Raiders and the Giants. And it's not like they're two teams that always play. They're in the same division. Like, the odds of that game panning out the way it has, where that game is is between 1 and 2 in the NFL draft right now, is unbelievable. It really is. If you missed it earlier, Bart and I talked about this on Bart and Carlin, and now I guess the Michael K. show will talk about it. There are 3 teams in the NFL that don't have any Pro Bowlers this year. The New York Jets, the Minnesota Vikings, and the New Orleans Saints. And the Saints just beat the Jets by 23 points. Ugh. The only Pro Bowler in New York football right now is Brian Burns, the pass rusher for the Giants. That's it. No Jets made it. Now, I will say Nick Folk got snubbed. You could certainly argue he deserved it. You certainly could argue their punter, Austin McNamara, by the way. He deserves it as well. But what does it say about the Jets that they entered the year with several players on their team that have either been an All-Pro or been to a Pro Bowl, and they don't have any Pro Bowl players that made it this year? And I get it. They traded away Sauce. They traded away Quinnen. But Jermaine Johnson's been to a Pro Bowl before. The way Aaron Glenn talked about Will McDonald, how it's coaching, man. Going to coach him up. He had 10.5 sacks last year. We think there's another level to his game. Will McDonald's done nothing for most of the year. He had the one great game against the Browns, had 4 sacks, had 2 sacks week 1, and there hasn't been much else. He was okay for parts of the game Sunday against the Saints. Quincy Williams, former first-team All-Pro linebacker, having the worst year of his life. Right? Like, you look at the Jets, and this head coach promised player development and coaching elevating guys. And it's another reminder, as the Jets are one of 3 teams without any Pro Bowlers, that simply has not happened. Damian Woody was on Bart and Carlin yesterday. This was D. Wood on what he has seen as the most concerning aspect of this year's Jets team.
As a coach, guys should be getting better. We know that they're a talent-deficient team, but you should still see, from an individual standpoint, players, especially young players, getting better, and I'm just not seeing that when I watch the Jets play.
Can anyone argue that? Who's improved on this team? Who's improved? That's the issue I think most Jet fans have with this head coach. They've changed their plan multiple times. Things he has said would happen have not happened. But, hey, we're the ones who need to be patient again.
Just don't let go of the rope.
I'm taking that rope, and it's so frustrating. For those who missed it, Aaron Glenn yesterday asked what his message is to Jet fans like myself.
To me, I will continue to say, just don't let go of the rope. Because there is a plan, there is a vision. From day one, we've been trying to set the foundation of what we want this team to be. And a lot of that is from in-house perspective for the most part. You still have a number of things that you have to go through as far as, making sure that everybody understands exactly what you're trying to accomplish when what type of team do you want to be. And our guys know that. They do. But listen, we have to continue to work on that. Between me and Moose, we got to continue to, players that we want. That whole deal is something that we continue to look at. And for the fans, listen, it's going to be a tough road, and we knew that. But, man, the thing is, we know exactly what we're doing, and we do have a plan. And just don't let go of the rope. I would say that.
Don't let go of the rope. Oh, the pain, man. It never ends with this team. We have don't let go of the rope. Add that to the classic one from Glenn earlier this year.
Big ships turn slow.
He also referenced the infamous Robert Saleh instant coffee line. Everyone wants instant coffee. It's just, it's brutal. 800-919-3776. I just, while that clip was playing, communicated with Anthony Pusick. I consider him to be one of the czar of producers here. He's a radio mastermind. I said, am I in for Michael K. or am I in for Bart and Carlin? And We're going with Michael K. because the YouTube says Michael K. So Jake Asman in for Michael K. And guess what?
No Michael K.
I could play the Don drop, so that's why I am thrilled about that. Some baseball to get into here. The Jeff McNeil trade yesterday I find to be fascinating, right? I don't think any Met fan is surprised that McNeil was traded. You didn't get much for him. You got a 17-year-old rookie ball pitcher, Yordan Rodriguez. But it kind of feels like now, like that trade officially closes the book on the Mets of the last couple of years. Like a team that fans did grow attached to. Now, they didn't win anything. You know, they had the trip to the NLCS. They had the great season in 2022, only for it to obviously end horrifically, losing the division and then the Padres series in the wildcard round. But you look at the Met offseason, this is truly a real teardown of this old core by David Stearns. And you have to hope he knows what he's doing. And we just played you Aaron Glenn saying that him and Mooj, that's the Jets GM Darren Mooj, have a plan. You have to hope David Stearns has a plan. I know he has a plan. You got to hope it's a good plan. Right? Aaron Glenn had a plan. It was Justin Fields. It was Steve Wilkes. It was horrific. Ryan Dable had a plan. It was get a quarterback. They're going to win all these games. It didn't work. He got fired. I don't think David Stearns would get fired necessarily after this year, but, I mean, if the Mets are an abomination again and they miss the playoffs, this is not on the table with their payroll. So, again, I don't think anyone should be surprised Jeff McNeil was traded, but I am fascinated by what the Mets' plan actually is. They made no real push to keep Pete Alonso. McNeil's gone. The message is clear. They want flexibility. They want control. But what are you going to do now? Right? I don't think any Met fan is thrilled about Marcus Semien replacing McNeil at second. You're better defensively, great, but where's the offense coming from now? Jorge Polanco will fill in at first base. He's never played first before. We're preaching defense, but we're going to play a guy who's never played first before. Okay, maybe he could do it. I don't know. The roster's a little older now. Like, the reality is, McNeil was a good player. He obviously has been way too inconsistent. He never really recaptured the magic from that 2022 season that he had with the Mets when he won the batting title and all that. But I still don't think I love what I'm seeing yet, and it's not final yet. There's more to come for this Mets team, obviously. They still need starting pitching. They yet to do that. As someone who was as strong of a critic of Devin Williams as any Yankee fan out there, I don't love bringing Devin Williams in and just saying, okay, you're going to close. Oh, well, now they have Luke Weaver. I mean, okay, so we got Clay Holmes, we got Luke Weaver. It's just, how many Yankees is too many Yankees? It just, I don't see the vision yet. And I know there's more to come. There could be trades, all that. Or like, are the Mets going to be in on Cody Bellinger now? Is that the big move? You know, Contreras got traded to Boston. That happened. He was someone that some Met fans speculated could potentially be a guy they would bring in. Are they going to trade for Peralta? Is Luis Robert an option? Ryan O'Hearn? Are they trading for Pivetta? They're trading for Yandy Diaz? Like, what is their actual plan now of the options that are out there? We know the owner came out and said that he's not expecting the payroll to go down. He called people saying that anyone who thinks the payroll would go down, he referred to those people, and a lot of them are Met fans, as idiots. Remember Steve Cohen's tweet on December 19th? As typical, the usual idiots misinterpreting a post article on the Mets payroll for 26. I can't imagine our payroll will be lower than last year. It's always hard to predict, but that would be my best guess. Well, when does the spending start, Uncle Steve? That's the question. It can't just be you trade away these guys. Who's replacing these guys? That's the question Met fans have been asking now for weeks in this offseason. I want to know what the plan is. Now, Pete Alonso gave his first interview since signing with the Orioles. He had the introductory press conference, but this interview on Foul Territory, which is a great baseball podcast, they asked him specifically about the Mets. This was Pete Alonso talking about his time with the Mets and choosing to go to Baltimore.
It's okay because I know I gave everything I had every single day. I'm appreciative of it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's for me. I'm just happy where this is where not just where I'm going to be playing, but where for me as a for me, like, this is where my family's going to be, and they welcomed us with open arms. And that's why for me, it's like, I feel like I'm in the right place. And I feel like we as a family are in the right place. And the Orioles, like, they treated us excellent the whole way. And it's not that the Mets didn't. I'm just very blessed, and I feel like we're in the right spot. And how could I be salty over that?
More from Alonso. When did you realize you were going to leave the Mets?
Like, when it came down to like the true negotiating point, and it's like, all right, it's just not going to happen. And that for me, it's like I gave everything I had, and I always do. I just don't take it personal, because at the end of the day, it's their philosophy, it's their business decision, and I'm in a place where they see me in their future and in their present. So I'm stoked to be there, and I can't wait to win ball games for the Baltimore Orioles.
Look, I think the fact that the Mets let Alonso go was a mistake. I've been on the record saying that. I don't have an issue with making some of the other moves they made if they wanted to change up the core, but I think you got to get rid of the core. I don't quite get that argument when the Mets' biggest problem this past year was not their core. Their biggest problem was pitching, relievers. The trade deadline moves by Stearns were horrific. None of them worked. The starting rotation, the injuries, and the guys they were counting on because they didn't make that big investment in that big ace in free agency. It didn't work. That's, to me, the bigger problem. So, okay, you want to break up the core, but how are you replacing the core and then also actually solving some of your issues? Because moving on, or I guess he just left, but you're Steve Cohen, you should have money to make Edwin Diaz stay. Not having him and replacing him with Devin Williams is not an upgrade. You're worse there. Adding Luke Weaver, I don't know what version of Luke Weaver you're going to get. He didn't have a good season with the Yankees last year. Luke Weaver and Devin Williams are why the Yankees had to play in the wild card round in the first place against Boston. They won the same amount of games as the Blue Jays. But how many games did those two guys blow, especially Devin Williams? He lost the Yankee closer job twice. So, again, I have no problem trading Jeff McNeil. Fine. He didn't really have a role. We knew this was coming. But when I hear they had to blow up the core, and the headline of the New York Post is The Purge, Stearns pays A's to take McNeil as he continues to delete the Mets core. Great, you're blowing up the core. How are you adding to it? Right? How are you getting good baseball players that help you win baseball games? Because you won 83 of them last year. Wasn't enough. Have the Mets improved at this point? Obviously not. That's the question. It's what is this now plan? One more from Alonso. He was asked, did you know what the Mets plan was?
It's kind of like a philosophical thing where it's like, hey, that's just what they wanted to do. But if you think on it, like 2025, it just came down to one game. It came down to one game, and there was a ton of guys hurt. Where I feel like if they weren't, that would have put us in a better situation, and you can't control injuries. Like, we had a ton of arms that weren't necessarily healthy, and that plagued us. And it was a one game, not in the playoff situation where I feel like maybe if it was like, I don't know. But again, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because it's not my choice, not my decision.
I understand why some Met fans didn't love that answer. Pete, it really didn't come down to one game. You guys had a historic level of collapse. You never should have been in a spot where you needed to win at the end to get in. You had the best record in baseball on June 13th. But whatever. I would have brought Alonso back. They didn't. I'm not going to say David Stearns is clueless until I see what the rest of their offseason looks like, but I can't sit here and say I love what they've done. They had to improve run prevention. You got a first baseman who's ever played first base. Marcus Simeon's a good defender. He's 35 years old. Really? Doesn't that kind of feel like Robbins and Cano 2.0 for the Mets? I heard John Heyman say that the Mets have discussed Austin Hayes internally. Hayes was an all-star in 2023. He had 15 home runs and 64 RBIs. Had a 768 OPS with the Reds last year in 103 games. How about the Mets discuss a premium right-handed bat to replace Pete Alonso? The Mets lost, at least 40 home runs plus between Alonso and Nimmo right now? Again, their issues were pitching. How are they a better baseball team right now? They're obviously not. So what are the pivots? I keep hearing about a big Mets trade. And yesterday when I got a passing alert, Mets trading, I'm like, oh. And then it's like Jeff McNeil for a 17-year-old rookie ball pitcher. That's not exactly the most exciting thing, Met fans. 800-919-3776. What is the Mets plan? That's the question I throw out to the Met fans out there. And as far as the Yankees, is there a move they could make that people actually will care about besides bringing back Ahmed Rosario? Brian Cashman, hello. Hello. It is Festivus after all. Let me get my Seinfeld hello off. When are the Yankees going to do something? The Yankee news of late has been really, other teams in their division signing good players and getting better, which includes the Orioles now with Pete Alonso. The Red Sox just traded for Contreras. They are trying to make some moves. I think small market Sonny Gray stinks, but they did at him. When will the Yankees make their move? And look, again, I think the big move for the Yankees is they want to bring back Cody Bellinger, and they don't want to bid against themselves. I don't think there's this big market for Cody Bellinger, and I think the Yankees know that, and they're being patient. But if Bellinger signs elsewhere, is the plan just Grisham and then Jason Dominguez, Aaron Judge? Okay, here we go. Would the Yankees actually use some of their prospect capital to try and get a big-time pitcher? That's been rumored. Look, I don't think pitching is a dire need for the Yankees, but you do have some guys who are not going to be ready at the start of the year. When are they going to be ready? Could Garrett Cole be close to Garrett Cole coming off the Tommy John? I'm not sure. Rodon's banged up. Who won't start the year? I was at the Cam Schlittler start against the Red Sox. It was incredible. I don't know if we could just say he's going to be an ace now. They could use another starter, sure. They brought back Ryan Yarborough, who could give them some starts till these guys are ready. But what's the big move? To me, it has to be Cody Bellinger. Has to be. I don't think the Yankees are going to be in the Kyle Tucker waters. It feels like it's definitely Bellinger or bust because I don't really see what other pivot the Yankees would make at this point. Maybe I'm wrong. I know Michael Kay has talked about a trade with the Padres for Tatis. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't think there's any evidence the Padres want to move him. And I thought the Padres wanted the cut payroll. They still gave Michael King a 3-year deal for $75 million. That, by the way, would have been a move. I think if you're the Mets, that would have made sense. Because if you don't want to give the long-term money to starting pitchers because they break down, it's only a 3-year commitment. Worst-case scenario to King if you're the Mets. Framber Valdez is out there. Didn't have a great year with Houston, but he's pitched in the World Series multiple times. I covered him when I was in Houston for 6 years. He eats innings. He's a bulldog-like pitcher. He costs a lot. Is that where they want to go? Again, when's the first baseball splash for either the Mets or the Yankees in the hot stove season, which is the worst, by the way? There is no hot stove. Every other league has a free agent period signing, and it's exciting, and moves are happening, and then baseball just drags it out for months. Drags it out. It's not good for the sport, and nothing ever seems to get done about it. We complain about it every year. 800-919-3776, number to call to be a part of the conversation. Jake Asman in for Michael Kay and Bart Scott and Chris Carlin, still figuring that out. Taking it you till 2 today. A little funky holiday schedule here on the station. Ty Butler will then be on at 2 today, so this is not a full Michael Kay show vehicle, but good enough for me to at least play this.
No Michael Kay!
Opened with baseball. If you missed it, Pro Bowl rosters are out. 1 Jet, or 0 Jets, 1 Giant. Brian Burns is the only one who is in the actual Pro Bowl, so you have that. New York football, baby. 5-26 combined. Think about that. Joe Shane, have you thought about that?
Yeah, I understand the question there.
Again, it doesn't end with these teams. It does not end. We will talk more about the Jets coming up. My good friend of mine, Robby Sabo, who co-founded Jets X Factor, will join us. Now, if you remember, when The Athletic did that story on Woody Johnson and the Jets last year, referenced Woody frequently would bring Joe Douglas stuff from the site Jets X Factor. That was Robby. So Robby Sable's opinions on the Jets, they matter to the owner, which is why I think he'd be a good guy to have on the show today as we're talking about the Jets. And I got into this with Bart earlier. Aaron Glenn preaching patience to fans, saying don't let go of the rope. And the problem is Jet fans have heard this too many different times from different coaches.
Just don't let go of the rope.
God. Now, Matt Boombaka is one of my producers today. He's a Giant fan. Are you at a point where you are definitively rooting for losses going into this one, especially against the Raiders? I just want to see if, like, universally all Giants fans are on board with losing, because even though it would be better for the Jets to lose these last two, I know there are still some Jet fans who, for some reason, wanted to see a win Sunday against the 4-10 Saints. Where are you at as a Giant fan with these last two games here, and in all likelihood, a new GM coming in and, of course, a new head coach?
Yeah, both teams are definitely going to be trying to lose on Sunday in Las Vegas, but I do think that the Giants are going to find a way to win on Sunday, mess up the number one overall pick. I wouldn't even be mad about it. I mean, if they do get the number one overall pick, I hope they trade out of it and just get more pieces, more picks.
I think that's the only way you can look at it, right? I mean, winning would do what for the Giants at this point? Mike Kafka's not keeping his job. There's no way. I mean, Damian Woody on with Bart Carlin yesterday. What should the Giants do if they do end up with the number one pick?
I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft that I would take over Jaxson Dart. I think Jaxson Dart is a building block type of guy, and I think you got to get the right coaching here that can utilize this, that can put this young man in the right position. So, listen, I think the Giants, if they find themselves with the number one pick, it'll be a coveted spot because there'll be a team like the Jets or the Browns that'll be willing to give up assets to move up to that number one pick.
So here's the path for the Jets to actually get the number one pick, because obviously it ties directly with the Giants, which is New York football is so bad, but at least there's this element of being fascinated by how, you know, the end of the draft order is going to play out. If you're a Jet fan who wants the number one pick, if you think the Raiders can win in Week 18, they play the Chiefs with their third-string quarterback. You actually are rooting for the Giants to win on Sunday. You ready for this convoluted scenario? Giants to win. Washington to beat Dallas. It helps lower the Jets' strength of schedule. Seattle to beat Carolina. It lowers the Jets' strength of schedule. Green Bay to beat Baltimore. Steelers would clinch before the Browns game Sunday because that Steelers game is Sunday and the Ravens play the Packers on Saturday. If Cleveland could beat the Steelers, the New York Jets would have a shot at the number one pick, assuming the Raiders would be able to go out there and beat the Chiefs with their third-string quarterback. Pete Carroll's last game, probably going to get fired, right? Be reminiscent of when Lovie Smith knew he was going to be fired by the Texans, and he won that last game against the Colts at the time, and it cost Houston the number one pick. So there is a path for the Jets. Now, if you just want the Jets to be guaranteed to move up, and if the Giants could get the number one pick, then you could get a deal done with them because they don't need a quarterback, unlike Vegas and Cleveland. They do, and the Jets are at 4 right now, which is why I bring that up. Then you want the Giants to win Sunday. You want the Giants to win Sunday, and you hope that the Raiders could beat the Chiefs in Week 18. Or excuse me, you want the Giants to lose Sunday. I think I misspoke. Giants lose Sunday, which would then give the Raiders a win. Jets would obviously move in front of the Las Vegas Raiders in this scenario. And then, look, the Giants probably lose to the Cowboys. Assuming they do, they have the number one pick. And then the Jets and Giants could make this trade that we've been talking about for already weeks on this station as a possibility. Isn't this fun to talk about? Ugh, just brutal. But it is Festivus, so I'm airing out my grievances, and I have a grievance with New York football. Because God, is it awful. Oh, my God. Coming up, Robby Sabo will join us. We'll get to more of your calls as well. Marathon show for me. Did Bart Carlin for 3. Now we're doing the Michael K. show until 2. Then Ty Butler is on then right here on ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is a test of the emergency alert system.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
Boxing is back at Madison Square Garden on Saturday, January 31st for the Ring 6. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. Power meets precision on boxing's biggest stage. This is one fight you won't want to miss. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com and watch every round live exclusively on DAZN.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings during the More to Move You event. Lease a new Mazda 2025 CX-50 2.5S Select with all-wheel drive for $199 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN385912. MSRP $32,795. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
The holidays are here, and Amazon Pickup is your MVP of package pickup. Need that perfect gift like a brand new jersey for the big game? With Amazon Pickup, you can grab your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule at no extra cost. It's fast, it's easy, and it keeps your holiday surprises tucked safely away. So whether you're running from work or heading to the holiday party, Amazon Pickup makes holiday shopping worry-free. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installations with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
Jake Asman in for Michael K. It's time right now for Game Time, which is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 6 p.m., the St. John's Red Storm host the Harvard Crimson at Carnesecca Arena. Coverage at 5:40 on the ESPN New York app. 7 p.m., the Rangers are in Washington to play the Capitals. Coverage begins at 6:30 on 1050 ESPN. Also on the ice, 7 p.m., Islanders hosting the Devils at UBS Arena. In the NBA, 7 p.m., Nets are in Philly to play the 76ers. And 8 p.m., Knicks are in Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves. Coverage begins at 7:30 right here on 880 ESPN. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Let's continue the football conversation right now. And joining us is the founder of JetX, JetsXFactor.com, Robby Sabo. Robby, always good to catch up with you, my man. Appreciate you hopping on.
Jake, how's everything today?
I'm hanging in. So I just got through 3 hours with Bart Scott, and I'll ask him the same question, or ask you the same question I asked him. So Aaron Glenn said yesterday, Jet fans, be patient. We have a plan. Said don't let go of the rope. From what you have seen this year, Robby, do you think Jet fans should believe there is some sort of plan for the Jets? Because I don't think their initial plan was to start 3-12 and likely 3-14.
Well, I mean, what's interesting is this has been a familiar theme for the Jets. I mean, even before Glenn with the Salo regime, it's be patient. It's let's build up the talent. Let's do it that way. I think at some point they have to look in the mirror and say, it's not 1991 anymore. Jimmy Johnson, when he rebuilt those Cowboys, it was pre-capped. The salary cap hadn't been hit yet, and you could build a talented team that way. And I'm not saying the coaching could be terrible, but the coaching, the strategy, the tactics, they didn't matter as much as they do today. You look around the league, the nerds have won. It's the offensive play callers that are really driving the needle. So if I had to give Woody and the Jets advice, it would be that. Rethink the prototype in terms of leadership within the organization, especially at head coach, or Glenn really has to look in the mirror and figure that out on his own.
When you talk about strategy, right, and the fact that it almost feels like when you listen to Glenn, he's focused on maybe some of the wrong things, right? I've read your stories on JetX kind of just talking about the shift that the NFL has made and emphasizing certain things. Can you expound on that, Robby? Where exactly are the Jets focusing in on the wrong problems with their football team?
Well, first and foremost, coaches are stubborn by nature. I'm a defensive coach, high school level, and coaches are stubborn. That's just their nature. So when you have a defensive coach especially, you never want to relent in terms of, man, this is a way different league. The offense drives everything. The 33% can't be attributed to the defense, special teams, and offense. It's just not that way anymore. There are so many stats to back it up. I mean, you look at what Ben Johnson's doing in Chicago, Liam Cohen in Jacksonville. There are a million different avenues to take that backs that up. So I think it's trying to get over the hump of being stubborn and graciously accepting that. It's a short yard per completion league. This is the fourth or fifth year in a row where 10.9 yards per completion is the mark, which is the lowest in NFL history. And when Glenn ditches Rodgers and picks up Fields, you're not really going with that mold. I mean, Fields has such a long release, so it's tough to achieve anything with that route.
Robby Sabo, founder of Jets X Factor with the series on the Jets Beat, does a great job covering all aspects of the team. When you look at year one for Glenn, and there's, of course, still 2 games to go, can you point to anything that you think he's done well as a head coach so far, Robby?
I think the idea of going Fields made some sense because what he saw, put yourself in his shoes. He was DC in Detroit. And when you're DC, I talked about the stubbornness. There's nothing more frustrating than doing everything right on 3rd and 12 and then having a quarterback scamper for 12 yards just to break your back. That's what he saw and felt. So initially you could understand some positives like, okay, he's looking at Philly. Philly is kind of the first rushing quarterback team to break through and win a Super Bowl, and he wanted to ride that train with Fields. But I'm grasping at straws here, Jake. It's been tough. I mean, at heart, I am kind of an old school guy myself. I think this is why I recognize it in terms of how different the league is and the priorities, how slanted they are, and still just behind the times they are for the Jets. Yes, you want accountability. Yes, you want to cut down on penalties. But when you look around, Jacksonville is second or third in penalties in the league right now. They're tremendous. Denver, same thing. They're in the top 3. It's not the same world. All that stuff is complementary to the tactics and the scheme and the offensive play callers. Jake, it's the rules. Everyone knows what the rules are. You can't touch quarterbacks. So older guys, old man Phil Rivers, no one gave him a chance, but he's doing things out there because he can't touch guys, limiting the concussion stuff. So because of that, the physicality of the game decreases, and offensive play callers can move chess pieces around the board that much more easy. And when you're a defensive guy, everything has to be perfect to make up for that. You have such an advantage when you're the mic, the voice in the helmet of the quarterback as the head coach. That's just the way it is. Everything gets connected much, much easier. It's not to say a defensive guy can't do it. We see it, but it has to be buttoned up beyond belief.
And how concerning would it be to you that, hey, defensive coach Aaron Glenn, his big hire for defensive coordinator is a guy he's never worked with, Steve Wilks. He had been one and done in his previous 5 stops, and he couldn't even get through the first year as the Jet DC because it had gotten so bad. Glenn felt like maybe he'd lose the locker room if he didn't step in. What do you make of just how that all played out and what that says about Aaron Glenn?
It's troubling, first and foremost. I wasn't a huge fan of the hire, but the way it went down is troubling. And the way it went down in terms of, it was a combination of the two brains in my mind. When I watched the film, there was a lot of stuff in terms of what Glenn preached, in terms of what he wanted from his corners. Aggressive, sauce, Brandon Stevens, press, bump, trail. That's what he wanted, and that's what he did in Detroit. Wilks, of course, had his fingerprints on it too. He was the play caller, but by the time it was all said and done, it feels like everything's getting poured on Wilks. When it comes down to it, the scheme on defense, there was a lot of stuff that was old school, for lack of a better word. When you're 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 15 in the red zone, why be impressed on one side? You're just aching for the official to throw the flag. They want to throw flags for DPI, play off coverage, get the heels at the sticks, and let them catch it underneath shallow and rally. Some of that stuff was just ongoing all year. I guess it's good that he made the decision to get rid of him 3 or 4 weeks ago, but it was bad all the way around.
Robby Sabo is our guest, talking all things Jets. He's the founder of JetsXFactor.com, which the owner of the team reads it, according to The Athletic, so you should too. It's a great site covering all things Jets. When you look at where this team goes going forward, Robby, where can they improve? We know about the cap space. We know obviously about the resources in the draft. I'm sure we'll talk about some of these collegiate quarterbacks and all that, but what to you is the fundamental thing the Jets have to do a better job at this offseason to prepare for next year?
I think it's a at-the-top vision change. In other words, and forget Glenn. I'm not even worried about Glenn right now. I'm not even worried about the head coach. Just at the top, a recognition that, hey, times have changed. It is not a coincidence that the Jets this is the worst stretch of their franchise history, and it coincides with everything changing. I mean, the Rex 2009, 2010 teams, physicality was still a part of the game. It was a major part of the game. Bart Scott was filling and spilling A-gaps, B-gaps like a man. You don't see that much today because physicality has really waned. It's really declined. So, you can't go with the motivator all the time at head coach. You can't go with the motivating ideas and belief in certain things and belief in yourself. I would just say at the top, really rely on the logic over belief and motivation. That would be my first and foremost thing.
Robby Sabo is our guest. All right, the quarterback situation. Obviously, we know Fields won't be back. Probably not Tyrod either. Brady Cook, maybe he's a camp arm, whatever. Brand new QB room. Like, for the Jets, what is their ideal scenario, right? What veteran? If you take a college quarterback, is it better that they sit? Give us your early feel with months still to play this thing out on how they can approach the quarterback spot this offseason.
Well, I mean, I think in line with your thinking, you want a quarterback this offseason. Everything being perfect, that's the way to go. Now, it's a tricky thing. If you evaluate the guys at the top, Mendoza, Moore, maybe Simpson, hopefully more. And you don't really love if they don't fit your evaluation in terms of top 5 in the draft. That's a tricky thing because you really want to grab one, but do they fit? I would say this to them: draft one, do whatever you can to get one. If you feel great with Moore, go that way. If not, trade up for Simpson and just have the idea that, hey, we could draft one each year until it works out because quarterback is that important. On top of that, Engstrand, Hayden, the offensive staff, that really has to be buttoned up. That you really have to have the confidence in those guys before you even decide on the quarterback. Those two things need to be married together really firmly.
Tanner Engstrand, he's a tough evaluation, Robbie, because of just how bad the quarterback situation has been. You're watching the All-22 on all these games, of course. How would you evaluate the Jets' first-time OC through the first season here?
So complicated. It's almost an NA because you put in the field system in the spring, in the summer, and that system, as I mentioned before with Philly, it's so different. Zone read, RPOs, so much stuff. It's so different that you want the right personnel. I know you were screaming about receivers. They didn't have a second and third receiver, and it's true. But I think a part of that, and they didn't mind so much, they wanted blocking guys. They wanted Lazard. They wanted Reynolds because they blocked, was because of the specific offense. So when you have that specific offense, everything has to work perfectly, as Baltimore's finding out now with injuries. Jane Daniels, Washington, same thing. Philly, even Hurts isn't running as much this year, even though they're still pretty good at 10-5. So it's hard to evaluate Engstrand because of that. I give him some kudos in terms of pivoting to Tyrod and even Brady Cook. I think his scripted plan was pretty solid this past weekend. Unfortunately, he just didn't pull a trigger, Cook. He went into a shell. I don't know why. I think if you're Glenn, instead of worrying about effort and penalties, ask yourself, why did he go into a shell? Did I preach being conservative way too much? Stuff like that. I think that's the way to think of the modern game. But Engstrand, I'd give an NA. I like Hayden, the offensive line coach. I think by far he gets the most passable grade offensively.
Let's be real, Robbie. The best coach on the Jets staff is their special teams coordinator, Chris Banjo, who Mike Westhoff recommended, and thank God Glenn listened.
100%. And listen, Glenn gets credit for that, but also, let's not go crazy with the mental gymnastics in terms of, for the Glenn folks out there, oh, where's the talent? Give him his guys. Two things. I'll say this. When a great coaching job happens, it smacks you in the face. It punches you. You know it. You don't have to convince yourself. That's one. Number two, if the talent is that bereft, and I'm not arguing that the talent is great. I'm arguing more so that this isn't the early 90s anymore. The talent is somewhat even across the league, and it's more tactics. But if the talent is that bad, how is Banjo doing this on special teams when special teams is the bottom third of the roster? Ask yourself that. So coaching has never mattered more. Strategy, tactics. It's time to get with the times, man. That's it.
Well, you know what they say. I mean, you don't let go of the rope.
Just don't let go of the rope.
It's just it never ends, Robbie. It never ends. Great stuff. Appreciate you joining us. Everyone go check out JetX, jetsxfactor.com. Robbie does a podcast with Jet legend Wayne Corbett every week, Underdog Pod, so check that out where you get your podcast as well. Appreciate you, Sabo.
You got it.
Robbie Sabo with us there. Good stuff. And look, he's right. Again, the NFL is all about the nerds, the strategy, right? Remember Liam Cohen got mocked for his press conference? It means nothing. Duval, he said it funny. Look what he's doing with the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is actually playing like the guy they said he was going to be 5 years ago. He's actually doing it now. I've been the biggest Trevor Lawrence hater. He's actually playing really well. I got to tip my cap to him. I'll be fair. Ben Johnson in Chicago. Look what he's done with that team. And it's not even just Caleb being great. There's been moments. He hasn't been amazing this year. He was great in overtime. That throw he made was sensational. It's all coaching, man. And the head coach said it was all coaching of the Jets. And no one's improved on this team. I just think there's a lot of red flags. And I don't think Woody Johnson's going to do what Robert Kraft did and fire a franchise legend after a year. But he had every right to do it if he wanted to. It's been that bad. The Jets are about to finish with 14 losses. Only Gase and Kotite ever did that. That's it. That's the list. And if Aaron Glenn doesn't win games in year 2, he's not getting a third year. This is not some long rebuild plan. That's nonsense. You don't get all these years when you don't win. The Lions, everyone wants to compare the Jets to the Lions. Which, by the way, how great are the Lions this year? Just saying. The Lions were 9-8 at the end of their second year. Are the Jets going to go 9-8 next year? Be honest, people. with a rookie probably having to play a lot of those games. I'd love to be wrong. Come on. 800-919-3776. Final segment coming up. Jake Asman in for Bart Carlin, in for Michael K, taking you till 2 right here, ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply.
One 877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025.
Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Last chance! Donate now for a 2025 tax deduction.
New York Presbyterian treats more heart patients than any other hospital in New York. From common to complex conditions, our cardiologists and heart surgeons are pioneers in advanced heart care, leading the way in minimally invasive treatments for faster recovery times. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital based on U.S. News and World Report 2025 to 2026 Cardiology, Heart, and Vascular Surgery Rankings.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back.
I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer, continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE-BACK.
They call me The Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
New York Lottery's holiday scratch-off games are the perfect gift for everyone on your list.
Like me, your Aunt Jules. I told you I didn't need a gift this year, but I secretly really want one.
Or me, your neighbor Frank. I hope you didn't forget I'm coming to your holiday party tonight.
Or me. Why does no one ever think of the voiceover guy? Anyway, New York Lottery's holiday scratch-off games have more winners and top prizes up to $5,000. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
From the regular season to the Super Bowl, ESPN New York is your destination for football. We've got crazy fans,
If the Giants somehow beat the Cowboys, I'm going to take a dump on your head.
You can feel good because you're a damn football team.
Expert analysis.
Marcus Spears joins us now. ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
Mel Kiper Jr.
The Hall of Famer Steve Young.
He's kind of our resident general manager, Louis Riddick.
We got Mike Tannenbaum right now.
And all your fantasy and wagering needs. This is ESPN New York. We are football.
Jake Asman in for Bart Carlin, and kind of Michael K. The YouTube stream says it's Michael K., so I will play this again.
No Michael K.
Ty Butler is coming up in just a few minutes, and he's nice enough to join us a little early before his show. Ty, how we feeling?
I'm just holding on to the rope, my friend.
Oh, you better hold on, man. Don't let go.
Just don't let go of the rope.
I'm not. I can't.
You believe in the plan. Glenn said yesterday, Jet fans, be patient. We got a plan. I've yet to see any semblance of said plan. What say you?
I just don't like the BS, the pretending like part of the plan was, you know what? Our defensive coordinator, he's not going to make it.
But they're laying the foundation. But wait, you're going to have a 50% roster turnover and a brand new DC who's going to hire brand new coaches to also lay the foundation?
Part of the plan was to sign a quarterback and have him make it through 9 games and also have the owner in the middle of a hotel tell you that he's the worst starting quarterback in the league. I think that was part of the plan. It's amazing. It's amazing. And what makes it tough is, look, like you and I, because we've been getting killed on Twitter for this, we want to see this dude succeed.
Of course.
We're fans at the end of the day. Like, I have takes that obviously I prioritize being right. But when it comes to a face-off between being right and my fandom, I'm choosing my fandom.
Right. If you're a diehard Jet fan who has concerns about Aaron Glenn, you'd rather be wrong than be right about them. That's the problem.
And if I end up on old takes exposed or, someone retweeting this take about Glenn, great, because my team's awesome. I just can't find anything tangible I come away from this season thinking that's it. At least I've got something. Like the Giants, we've got a quarterback. We've got some pieces on defense. The Jets, and I know you've probably talked about this, Garrett Wilson, who played how many games this year? Still their leading receiver.
It's unbelievable. They don't have an interception yet, and our head coach was a great cornerback who is 4th all-time in Jets history in interceptions. They don't have a pick, and at this point, I don't want them to get one. I want the record.
Oh, absolutely.
I want the record at this point. Why not?
Absolutely. And I got to watch last night. Phillip Rivers, at 44 years old, looked better than any Jet quarterback has this entire season.
Honestly, Phillip Rivers is the bridge for Fernando Mendoza learning from him. Why not? He's a high school coach anyway.
If we can get rid of the crop top because I don't want to see the gut on my television.
The dad bod is tremendous.
But, yeah, man, it's just – at least we have your and I'm not a Knicks fan, but I see you wearing the Knick hat. At least we have them.
It's the only team I have that actually gives me hope. I know the Yankees have been good every year, but, are they going to do anything? I'm waiting for the Yankees to do something. Met fans are waiting for the Mets to actually do something besides lose their own players. I feel like I only have the Knicks right now.
I think the Yankees think that free agency starts in the new year.
Right.
So that they're waiting for that to happen.
They want Scott Boras to say, yeah, we can't get a 6 or 7 year deal for Cody. We'll take the 5-year offer. At least that's what I hope is happening.
Could you imagine in back-to-back years the Yankees lose their second best player to the Mets?
That'd be brutal. And again, it doesn't sound like the Mets want to spend that kind of money either. So, Brian Cashman better be right about that. Because if you don't bring back Bellinger, what is this offseason?
No idea. Because Kyle Tucker is not an option, it would appear. I just don't think you run this team back that wasn't good enough last year, but absent of Cody Bellinger.
Well said. Ty, I know you got a great show coming up. It's kind of weird here. It's like the random 2 o'clock start time for you. And I wasn't sure if I'm in for Michael or the first 3 hours with Bart.
Is this we benched Tyrod at halftime, and now we're bringing the new quarterback.
I think it's the same YouTube stream, too. So I think, goodbye, YouTube. Ty's going to be on coming up. Big thanks to everyone who listened. Thank you to Matt and Ray for producing. Ty Butler's coming up next. I'm doing the morning show with Jordan Renaud at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So happy Festivus, happy Christmas Eve. And Ty's coming up next here on ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, commitment issues? No problem. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, as in for life. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Hey, this is Mika Zibanejad.
Hey, this is Adam Fox. Catch every Rangers game right here on 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
All right, let's get to it. Hour number 2 of the K Show. A little switcheroo. Jake Asman held down the fort from 10 to 1 with Bart Scott. Then did the first hour of the K Show. Now Ty Butler taking you until 5 o'clock. Hit us up. You know the deal. 800-919-3776. We are streaming live on YouTube. I am on X and on Instagram at Ty D Butler. And I want to hear from you. A ton to do. We can go in and out of sports. I'm just in that mood today, hanging with my guys Jacob and Anthony Pusick, who do a tremendous job on this show. Once again, 800-919-3776. We have Talk About It Tuesday coming up at 4:30 on the DHR portion of the show. A lot to get off my chest, man. No Diddy. 800-919-3776. I want to start with the Giants. Let's talk about the New York Giants, because we have a set of circumstances that could unfold that I think would be unfavorable for this organization. And I thought about this actually Sunday night watching the Ravens. If Baltimore were to miss the playoffs, which I think absolutely is on the table and will happen because I think the Steelers will beat the Browns this Sunday. If the Ravens miss the playoffs, I'd be shocked if John Harbaugh isn't gone. And I saw them batting that around on Get Up today, but it would appear to me that Harbaugh-Lamar Jackson relationship has run its course. What we watched on Monday night was an abomination, but if you're a Ravens fan, was not at all shocking. This team, just like it's going out of style, gives away leads, and it's a silly team. Between Zay Flowers and his fumbles and Derrick Henry and his fumbles, and when the situation calls for this team to rise to the occasion, they just seemingly underwhelm at every stop. And that's been the case for a while. The problem is that silliness usually shows up in the playoffs. But I guess, because it was essentially a playoff game for Baltimore, they said, let's put it on full display this past Sunday night. So that's a job that could become open. You then have the Bills, who right now, in a lot of people's eyes, are the heavy favorites to win the AFC. Josh Allen against a field that has a bunch of unproven quarterbacks at the top and maybe some teams we don't fully trust in like the Chargers and the Steelers. It's Josh Allen's conference to win or lose. Heavy favorites, which is why if they get picked off in round one, how do you not fire Sean McDermott? You'd have to make a change, and the most obvious one would be the head coach. Well, if you talk to a lot of Bills fans, they're not exactly in love with anyway. But that's a team with ginormous expectations because they have a superhuman at quarterback, and if they get bounced early, I could see that head coach getting up out of there. Then you have the Bengals, and the most fun, particularly that we have on the station, is entertaining the whole Joe Burrow destinations conversation because it could involve the Jets, could involve the Giants, but more likely is that when Cincy, because they're not going to make the playoffs, has big decisions to make this offseason, Joe Burrow stays, Zach Taylor is gone. So the Giants, as we bring it back to them, in my estimation, they go from the most attractive job open because it's still, like, as bad as they've been, it's still the New York Giants, the brand and everything. They go from the most attractive job that's currently available to no better than fourth most on this list. Because as much as you would love to coach Jaxson Dart, who's got a high ceiling and has shown incredible potential in his first year, I mean, give me that or Lamar Jackson. Which one you choosing? Give me that or Josh Allen. Which one are you choosing? Give me that or Joe Burrow. So, in theory, we could have 3 of the 4 best quarterbacks in football with job openings at their head coach position. And you mean to tell me the Giant job is more attractive than than that one? Absolutely not. If I've got a chance to coach Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, or Lamar Jackson, come on. What are we talking about here? So that could potentially upset this whole power ranking of attractive jobs, and it's something that'll be interesting to watch going forward. And adding fuel to this fire would be this. I know Pusick disagrees because he's just as low on the Giants as you can possibly be, but they can beat the Raiders on Sunday. They can win that game. How do I know that? They almost beat the Vikings. Just 2 days ago, we almost watched them beat the Vikings and should have beaten the Vikings. If they win this game against Vegas on Sunday and you lose the number 1 overall pick, that is as significant of a gut punch to this organization as we've seen in, the last 15 years. You cannot lose that pick. Having it means you control the draft. You've got your quarterback in place. You are going to have a new head coach, maybe a new general manager, more on that in a moment, but you control the draft with all of these quarterback-needy teams thirsting over the likes of Fernando Mendoza, or if, we get Dante Moore in the draft. You control it. And you can then hold teams hostage. You can collect a ransom for that number 1 overall pick, which, again, makes this job that much more attractive. You cannot lose it. And I understand because I'm in this spot far too often for my liking as a Jet fan where it's so unnatural to root for your team to lose. Like that final drive for Jaxson Dart, you're rooting for Slayton to drop the ball. Breece Hall running down the field for a potential go-ahead score. Am I rooting for him to get stopped? No, it's unnatural. But in the grand scheme of things, it presents you with a more favorable outcome. So for the Giants, that is right now the cash cow, that number 1 overall pick. You cannot afford to lose it. All of that to say, right now, ton of optimism, ton of reason to be optimistic despite what we've seen from this organization. You're going to clean house. You'll have a new head coach. And because the season has been such a disaster, Joe Schoen, who's 20, 45, and 1 as the general manager of this team, he just has to go. Thank you, Joe, but your services are no longer wanted or needed. Goodbye, and we say that respectfully. Appreciate you because you have armed us with some blue chippers on this roster. Jaxson Dart, Abdul Carter, Malik Neighbors, we get it. Scatterable. You've done tremendous jobs in areas, but with that resume and that record and how dumpster fire laden this team is, we cannot continue to employ you. Which brings us to something very interesting Mike Tannenbaum said on New York game day this past Sunday with Jake Asman that at first made me think, wait a minute, he had to have misspoke. That cannot be his take. But now I want to listen to it. So Mike Tannenbaum, New York game day, he says the New York Giants should strongly, and I emphasize strongly, consider drafting Fernando Mendoza.
If the Giants have the first pick, why would you not take Fernando Mendoza? I'm just telling you, like, when you watch that Ohio State game, if you're running an NFL franchise and you're saying, give me the checklist of what I need to evaluate a quarterback, you saw that in the Ohio State game, Jake. You saw an NFL defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, 3 Super Bowl rings. You probably saw conservatively 4 or 5 first-round picks, another 5 or 6 draftable players on that Ohio State defense. He physically got rocked, and he beat them. And they won the Big Ten championship for the first time in 1967. So if you and I are running an NFL team, and one of the indices we're looking for is somebody that has the ability to lead, to make all the throws against the best competition in the world, and have mental and physical toughness to accomplish something greater than himself. So to me, how in the world could any team who may need a quarterback pass him up?
Here's the hilarious part. So that description, mentally and physically tough, the ability to lead, he's describing Fernando Mendoza. Also sounds like he could be describing the guy he wants to replace, and that's Jaxson Dart. And my retort to Mike would be this. 5 minutes ago, Mendoza wasn't someone we thought could go number 1. Meanwhile, Dart, early on this season, was in the Offensive Rookie of the Year conversation. The unknown versus the known makes that a dangerous proposition. And I just put tremendous stock in having seen Dart perform against NFL defenses. That excited us so much that, we done a 2025 NFL redraft. Jaxson Dart could go number 1. That's how high we got on him. And you can say it was premature. You can say we were just so thirsty for competent quarterback play. Maybe we overrated him. We can have that conversation. But just my untrained eye watching Jaxson Dart ball out against that Denver defense and all throughout the season pre-injury led me to believe the Giants have their quarterback. And I value that more than the projection of what you believe from Fernando Mendoza. I can't afford to do that. But the reason why, and I say this respectfully, as egregious of a take that is, we have to entertain it, is this. I guess it's on the table with a new regime because Dart's not their guy, that there's a slight chance they're not as impressed with him as all of us are. Now, my counter to my own counter would be, well, part of what makes, a large part of what makes this Giant job attractive is having that quarterback in place. But you can run into a GM head coach combination that's just like, man, Dart, impressive. I like Mendoza better. Because we're listening to a former GM have that same opinion. And I don't know if the Giants would, in ushering in this new regime, which would kind of be silly, reckless, and irresponsible, throw in you can only take this job if we keep Jaxson Dart. I don't know if that's going to be what they do. But Mike Tannenbaum saying that as a former general manager leads me to believe that there could be other general managers, once Joe Schoen is fired, that have that same take. So I vehemently disagree with it. I thought it was nuts, but the more you consider it, it could happen. It could. Because if you truly believe that Mendoza is just the best quarterback and projects to be better in this league, then I can't argue with that. I can disagree with it, like sitting in this chair, but if there's a general manager who's going to take this job and a head coach who agrees with him, then it's on the table. 800-919-3776. I want to give a couple of quick notes just on the game that we watched Sunday. I thought it was concerning that Dart looked nothing like the guy we were excited that we were watching when he first captured the hearts of Giant fans. And Rick DiPietro made this point on his morning show with Dave that, if he gets hurt again at any point in the next 2 games, this job becomes less attractive. So you obviously, because of his health and well-being, you want to keep him upright, but you also don't want to compromise the type of player he is. So the Giants, in the final 8 quarters of this season, have to figure out how to marry those 2 things. And I guess it's not just the final 8 quarters of this season. Going forward, got to marry the 2 things of keep that intensity, utilize your legs, while also protecting yourself. It's really hard to do. Really, really hard to do. And I just thought that he appeared to be tentative in that first half. What did he attempt? 5 passes, 1 completed? And maybe the explanation for it can be there was the fear of what a Brian Flores-led defense could do to him. Because Flores has had a ton of success against the Giants. But I did not like what I saw from Dart this past Sunday. But I am also not willing to part with the praise I heaped on him that I saw for majority of the season in the games he's played just because of 1 bad game. 800-919-3776. Giant fans want to weigh in on the conversation. Once again, we're going until 5 o'clock today. 3 o'clock is like the official end of the K show. Then we'll start DHR. At 5 o'clock, I'll pass the baton to Pat O'Keefe. But until then, it is you and me. 800-919-3776. Hit me up on X and Instagram at Ty D. Butler. Let's go to Frank in Newark, who bats leadoff on the show today. What's up, Frank?
Hey, what's going on, Butler? One of the things I wanted to say is, I guess some of the things that people are taking into consideration is that, remember, Jaxson Dart was a trade back into the first-round player. Now, I feel like if he was taken in the top 5, they wouldn't have this conversation. There wouldn't be this much scrutiny on it. To be fair, the new regime gets to have their choice at whether or not they can work with Jaxson Dart. And it's always saying, it's such a throwaway line when coaches and GMs say that he's not our guy. A lot of times there's a quarterback in place that the coach likes. For instance, in the Chargers, Harbaugh actually liked the opportunity to work with Justin Herbert, and so far they're 11-4 now, or something like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, yes, it's up to the regime, and the tangibles are there for Jaxson Dart. Now, when it comes to Fernando Mendoza and the Jaxson Dart comparison, yes, this past week it looked like he regressed a little bit. But keep in mind, this was the type of growing pains that we were expected to have from Jaxson Dart when we drafted him. And as a matter of fact, he was not even expected to play this year. In a perfect world, the Giants would have been, at best, let's say 11-4 right now, let's say hypothetically speaking.
Wait, when you say at best, in what world could the Giants, with Russell Wilson at quarterback and the toughest schedule, be 11-4 right now?
But I'm just saying, in a extremely optimistic world, they were thinking they were going to be better than they were right now. I'm not saying that was going to be the case, but they were hoping that was going to be the case, and he would have never had to see in the field this year.
I disagree with that last part. I get where you're trying to go. I disagree with that last part. I appreciate the call. Realistically, in a quote-unquote perfect world, yes, the Giants would have been able to delay his, introduction to the NFL for as long as possible because the team's playing well. Brian Daboll has responded to all of the criticism. He's proven to be a head coach. And now later in the year, you can let Jaxson get his feet wet after we've seen Russell Wilson and maybe Jameis Winston. In no world was this team going 11-4. The point that you did make that was an excellent one was because Jaxson Dart and I guess I was just guilty of it, almost becomes a victim of his own early success. We did not think he was going to be that good. So when you see him struggle in a game like that against Minnesota, you're thinking, man, that's concerning. Whereas, like, if we just did the inverse and those struggles came early and he's trending upward, the conversation would be different. So, again, I'm not down on him. I'm just saying what I watched on Sunday, the one thing that I fear is you can't make him become a quarterback that he's not. He's not just purely a pocket passer. And I don't say that, disrespectfully. What I mean is I value and respect his athleticism so much. In a league where the best quarterbacks are able to use their legs, I want to see him be multidimensional. And I saw it early on, and I'm hoping that there is a way and a path to getting back there where he can also protect himself and guard against these injuries. Because the concussions, it's scary, man. Like, even taking a step back and not looking at it through the lens of being a fan, you don't want to see a kid experiencing, multiple concussions throughout his career, let alone in year one. Let's hit Dave in the car, who chimes in on the show. What's up, Dave?
Hey, how you doing there, Ty? Listen, I beg to differ with you about what job people would really want to take, to be honest with you. If you take the Lamar Jackson situation, you have pressure on you to win the Super Bowl, or at least get there, because anybody's been going there with him and losing every single time. Same thing with Josh Allen, same thing. The Giants, I'm the only caller who's going to call you, who's going to tell you that the Giants have a good team. It's not just Jaxson Dart. Yeah, that's the main reason, but they have a good team. If Vrabel was coaching that team this year, they have 8 wins. If you take McVay, they have 8 wins. I don't care what you say. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. They will win ball games. Coaching, it makes a huge difference in the NFL, bigger than any other sport by far.
Oh, absolutely.
So the Giant job is the realistically good job. Plus, they may have the first pick. They may have the first, second, or third pick. They have a pretty damn good team. That's my point. Okay, so I would want that job. I don't want all that pressure with Lamar Jackson, because if I don't get to the Super Bowl, I did the same thing the other guy did.
Man.
If I have Josh Allen and I don't get to the Super Bowl, I did the same thing the other guy did.
Dave, that's very Dave, hang on. That is honestly, that becomes a revelation that turns me off. If you're someone who you're wired as a head coach of a football team to reject a job because there's too much pressure, I don't want to go to Baltimore because they're expecting us to win a Super Bowl. I'd rather go somewhere where there are lesser expectations. Then that's a head coach I'm not interested in.
Don't hang up. I'm saying, you don't think the Giants have a pretty good job? What do you think Rick Pitino's done his entire career? Rick Pitino takes over teams that are garbage and turns them around.
You know what I think is?
You get much
what I think happened?
Much more notoriety if you do that with the Giants.
You know what I think happened, Dave?
10 games or 9 games.
You know what I think happened, Dave? And I appreciate the call. You pulled up to the show with something you wanted to express, regardless of what my take on it was. At no point did I say the Giant job wasn't attractive. So this feels a little straw man. I literally started the show by saying it is the most attractive because of the brand and everything that comes with it. The point I was making was it's also on the table that given the landscape of the league with Baltimore missing the playoffs, or, they're going to miss the playoffs, haven't officially been eliminated yet, but that's going to happen. Since he's out and Buffalo could get clipped early, if those jobs become open, they're more attractive than the Giants. If I've got a chance to coach an MVP in Josh Allen, a 2-time league MVP in Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow, who's going to a Super Bowl, that's more attractive to me than coming to the Giants. Doesn't mean the Giants are unattractive. It just means that they fall down the list a little bit. That's all I was saying. 800-919-3776. Let's hit Chris in Lakehurst. Wants to talk some New York Giants. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, Ty?
What's up, dog? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, bro. My take on this, I totally agree with you that the Giants' job is very attractive right now, okay? Who that head coach is going to be, I don't know. I can't begin to tell you. But for these last two games, okay, they need to sit Jaxson Dart and protect him from himself. Okay, there are times when a coach has to do that. Will Mike Kafka do that? Don't know. I hope he does. All right? So we can maintain that first-round pick. We need to start Russell Wilson. And in no means, in no way, shape, or form am I trying to dog Russell Wilson to say that he's garbage or anything, but I feel they should pull Jaxson Dart for these last two games. Sit him down, protect him from himself. All right? These games are meaningless, all right? And that's hard to tell a professional player in any sport that you're going to sit down. So
yeah, so there are. I get where the sentiment comes from, and I appreciate the call. There are a bunch of issues with how you communicate that to a locker room of guys that are still playing for something. Because the Giants as a team aren't, but these guys are playing for contracts and auditioning for other teams. And also, Mike Kafka, despite the fact that we don't think he has any chance of getting the job, he still feels like he's in the running. So if he can end the season on a little 2-game winning streak, then that adds to his case of why he should be retained. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but you know what quickly removes you from that candidate list? Going 0-7 post Brian Dable. 800-919-3776. Love the Giant conversation. We're all over. We're going to talk some New York Jets coming up. Baseball we have to get to. Talk about it Tuesday at 4:30. A whole lot on the table as we get you to 5 o'clock right here on 880 ESPN. Streaming live on YouTube and the ESPN New York app.
St. John's is back in action at home against Harvard. Coverage begins today at 5:40 on the ESPN New York app.
Listen. Never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-30 2.5S all-wheel drive for $159 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN SM839072. MSRP $26,690. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight to get justice for the injured.
The hustle and grit of these streets shaped me. I'm John D'Agostino, and from the concrete to the courtroom, I built this injury firm 35 years ago to get accident victims justice. So call my team first, 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
You want justice? Think Jenna D'Agostino. Think D'Agostino & Associates. Justice isn't just a word. For us, it's a way of life. It's having compassion for your struggle and getting you paid for your pain. Now that's justice. D'Agostino & Associates means being there for the injured.
Seriously injured? Call my team first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Oh, I love it. Vibes today. So did I hear this correctly? Ty Butler going to 5 o'clock, 800-919-3776. Get at me at Ty D. Butler. Hit us up in the YouTube chat if you want to get involved in the conversation. Was it Don who said that if he got remarried, Jacob, you would be his DJ?
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely right.
That's high praise.
I know. Listen, from a guy who predominantly came from hip-hop and R&B.
Exactly.
From Don LaGreca, who's a metal guy.
He's a heavy metal guy. I mean, he appreciates the diversity you bring to the table because you do play some of those rock records that they love to listen to. But and you're tapped in. You've got the music background and BLS and Hot. So for Don to give that praise to you, man, don't take that like that. And in the words of Don LaGreca, that's not nothing.
That's not nothing. Look, that's something I could put on my resume. I told Don, all I need is a plate of food and an open bar. I'm there.
Yo, and Anthony will tell you, we go back to the Han Solo days because this is time to go full circle. Before the show, on top of discussing sports topics, Knicks lose again. Like what? part of the conversation was Alan asking, yo, what type of music we playing tonight?
And as Jacob knows, that was a very Ty and Alan or Joe Pollock conversation that I ended up just sitting as a fly on the wall and just being really happy to be there.
I just think it's important. Like that element, like you get the host involved. I remember working a show at SiriusXM, and I was not allowed to play hip-hop music for this host. I was not allowed to play hip-hop music. In more particular, so I shouldn't say hip-hop music. I was not allowed to play Drake because he just hated Drake.
Okay,
Drake's the biggest artist.
The
biggest artist
so
in
many
the country.
songs you could cover. Like what?
He's like can't play Drake, but that's an important part of the experience, and I don't think a lot of people understand that.
Also, don't let Anthony fool you. He'll sing songs and just get me started, and then it's over.
What type of music do you like, Anthony?
I'm all over the map. I'll listen to anything, really.
But like your favorite go-to genre? Hardcore rap?
No, I don't think that's me.
Don't tell me heavy metal.
No, not heavy metal.
That's the Tom Bauer banging his head against the toilet seat.
No, I listen to a lot of country. I listen to a lot of
down the country.
I listen to a lot of alternative.
I could get jiggy to that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
All right, I like it. So I expect my man Jacob to play some Heat Rocks today. It's holiday season. We do have folks either traveling because they're going on, vacation or whatever, but also the folks last-minute Christmas shopping, which, by the way, I got to get to tonight. Couple items still left on the list.
That is cutting it close, my friend.
Yeah, man. I'm not proud of it.
You're a busy guy now.
You always overestimate how much time you have.
You're a TV star.
I wouldn't go that far.
You got a lot going on.
We're trying to make it work,
I got you.
We have goals. We have aspirations.
Luckily, Santa helps out. Santa's huge. He helps out a lot.
Santa's big. And I like that you still go on Santa because you got the kids in the car.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to ruin the experience.
But even Santa needs a list. So if you didn't even give Santa the list yet, Santa's all powerful, but he doesn't know everything.
He's making a list and he's checking it twice. 800-919-3776. I don't hate rock music. That's not true. Do we consider Radio Nowhere, Bruce Springsteen? Is that rock? Is that I love that song. I don't know what genre that's considered.
It could be like a soft rock, almost like.
Yeah.
Someone
in the chat is saying Ty hates rock. I got some rock heaters. I used to DJ at a rock station when I was in Syracuse.
Man, Black Metronome, he's a fan of the show, but Ty doesn't hate rock music.
Nah, I was a rock DJ in Syracuse, TK99. Shout out. 800-919-3776. Before we get back to the Jets, I want to stick with the Giants for a moment here because we got the fans chiming in on just what the rest of the season looks like. Dave Rothenberg hit me. He's like, man, stop putting that into the atmosphere. If the Giants win on Sunday, it will evoke as strong of an emotion as the Giants winning the Super Bowl did for Dave, them winning this game. But just on the opposite end of the spectrum. My man's going to be on vacation running wild if they win this football game. It's also it would also be bad for the Jets if the Raiders and the Browns leapfrog the Giants. So in some ways, as Jet fans, we got to root for the Giants.
Now, going back to our Saturday morning roots, Ty, for our purposes, what are we rooting for? Because Dave going ballistic in St. Mark's because the Giants won and possibly abandoning his family is a story for the morning show.
That's a great question. Part of me thinks that he's so dead inside.
That would awaken him. Oh, a Giants win this weekend
would awaken
a Dave that we haven't seen in a very long time.
I was going to make the other side of that argument, that he's so dead inside, he can't die anymore. Your heart is so broken, it's almost impossible to keep breaking it.
But then we get angry.
But you're right. Because he now has, they say there's a rainbow at the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel. He now has that within his vicinity. Almost was robbed of it because of that game on Sunday against the Vikings. But it's there. Because you get to Week 18, I don't know if Dak's going to play, but you're not beating the Cowboys. It is right there. So if this dude is on vacation.
It's right in front of us
it's right there in front of us, right? If he's on vacation, we almost got to find a way to stream that.
Get the conduit cam, bring that over.
We almost got to stream that. Because Dave, you could make the case, right? It's the most entertaining just talent on the stage just because of how crazy he is when it comes to his fandom. I want to see that. We might have to IG live that. Ty Butler going until 5 o'clock. Dave's in the car. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, man? I wanted to bounce something off of you with respect to Dart.
Pause.
And I know this is going to sound like I'm taking a shot at the Giants fans, but it's been so long since there's been any talent in that clubhouse. I think people are overlooking the fact that there's a lot of customization that's going to go into trying to build the right team around Dart. The fact that the last few games you can see if he's not being pushed to use his legs, he doesn't appear to be the same person at all. And I'm hoping, and I want to get your opinion on this, Giants, I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, you're hyped because you've been thirsty for so long, but you got to look at him as another version of Kyler Murray. You got to look at him as someone's going to take customization. The guy in Chicago got a coach to fit a system around the way he moves.
Yeah.
You got to invest a lot to bring the most success out of Dart. He's not built to come in this league and dominate at the highest level. He just isn't. He's just very good for now. What are your thoughts on that?
I disagree with that last part, because if you think he's great, then yes, he's built to come in and dominate the league. It's about how he's utilized. The point I do agree with is if you remove the running part of what he brings to the table, yeah, he's a different quarterback. But you can say that's not a diss. You can say that about a lot of guys. Like the two of the best quarterbacks in the league, you can say that about, and Josh and Lamar. And so you can say it about Patrick, right? His mobility, not quite Josh and Lamar, but there still exists his escapability and how he extends plays. So I wouldn't take that as a shot at Jaxson Dart. Here's the thing, man. You brought up Caleb in Chicago. It's one of the reasons why you try to find comps for, okay, if we get it right, this is what it looks like. Jet fans who was just searching for it saw the turnaround in Detroit. Aaron Glenn was a part of the culture change in Detroit. So that means it'll immediately translate and the Jets will become a perennial contender like the Lions. I never bought into that because the Jets, the one thing they were missing is the one thing Detroit got right, and that was trading for the quarterback. But, it was something that fans who needed a reason to have hope gravitated toward. With the Giants, I think there's more of a comp, because you just look around the league at a bunch of these fan bases that didn't have a lot of hope. Jacksonville, New England, Chicago, throw Carolina in there, and Denver a few years ago. And right now, all of those teams are in the playoffs. And I'd argue all of them except Chicago and Carolina are legit contenders. Now, what did it take? It took them nailing the quarterback, which I believe, and some people think those of us who say this are premature, but I believe the Giants have the quarterback. You just nail the head coach. And look, Mike McCarthy is not going to be a quote-unquote sexy hire. He's like, the punchline has become, well, Mike McCarthy can't win in the playoffs. If you're a Giants fan, you've won one playoff game in a decade, right? Like you won one playoff game in a decade. You've gone to the playoffs twice in the last 10 years. Sneezing at a coach who, worst you can say about him is he doesn't win enough playoff games is lunacy to me. I would hire Mike McCarthy. Would he be number one on my list? No. But that's not a bad hire for the Giants. I would actually say it's similar to what the Knicks did in Tom Thibodeau. We need someone to come in here and rebuild our brand and just stabilize things. We're not in the championship contender conversation. We just need some stability. We need respectability, and we need to be put back on the map. And that's what Tibbs did for the Knicks, who were a mess before he got here. Slowly but surely, Leon Rose improved that roster, and now they've become a contender. They've since obviously moved on from Tibbs, but he gets credited for his part in building this foundation, which is something I think a Mike McCarthy could do for the Giants. So this idea that we just dismiss him because he hasn't won enough in the playoffs, I mean, stop it. Cut it out. Let's go to Ryan in Bayonne. What's up, Ryan?
Sorry, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm chilling, baby. Happy holidays. What's up?
So, same to you. Before I said what I was going to say, I agree with what you said about Mark McCarthy. Out of the coaching pool right now, he would be my number one choice. I would hire him. I think he's a great choice. But for the teams that on the attractive list, I was thinking it was kind of irrelevant, because if the Giants, even if they were third on the attractive team list, the coaches that are getting fired are better than the current coaching pool. So even if we were third, we would still have the pick of the best coach. So I just want to get that point out there.
So you're talking about the theoretical conversation that I laid out with Baltimore, Buffalo, and Cincinnati?
Exactly. So if Buffalo and Baltimore fire their coach,
yeah, you're
even
right.
If we were third on the attractive list, we'll still have the number one pick. So it's kind of irrelevant. No disrespect. No disrespect. I don't mean to sound.
No, I get your point. Like John Harbaugh if he gets fired by Baltimore, obviously Baltimore is not fitting the most attractive job for John Harbaugh because he's not going back there. So I get your point. And, you can imagine that division could have 3 new head coaches because there's some rumblings. Stefanski could get fired. Zach Taylor, he's on the hot seat. Harbaugh could be gone. Yeah, so you're going to have a lot of experienced candidates that you can bring into your building. And I've been on this for a long time. As much as you can become infatuated with like these coordinators, what's his name? Chris Shula. You can become in love with these dudes because of what they've done. I get it. I just need someone with experience. I need a safe landing, someone I know can just get us back to stability. That's what I'm hoping for if I'm a Giant fan. 800-919-3776. This portion of the show brought to you by 365. We are sitting in, and by we I mean me, Ty Butler, sitting in for Michael K this hour. We transition to the afternoon show. DHR going with you from 3 to 5 p.m. So hit us up, 800-919-3776. We are streaming live on YouTube, so get at us in the chat. I'm at Ty D. Butler on social media. And this portion of the show brought to you by 365, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. We will continue to take your phone calls, talk to you once again. Talk About It Tuesday at 4:30 right here on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
St. John's is back in action at home against Harvard. Coverage begins today at 5:40 on the ESPN New York app.
New York Presbyterian treats more heart patients than any other hospital in New York. From common to complex conditions, our cardiologists and heart surgeons are pioneers in advanced heart care, leading the way in minimally invasive treatments for faster recovery times. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital based on U.S. News and World Report 2025 to 2026 Cardiology, Heart, and Vascular Surgery rankings.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain in the letter x.com/AI.
Brees Hall, the I-back, at the 5-yard line. Handoff, Brees Hall finds a crease, runs left. He's into the end zone for a Jet touchdown. Jets fans, come out to MetLife Stadium for a Week 17 divisional matchup. See the New York Jets host the New England Patriots Sunday, December 28th at 1 p.m. Presented by Ticketmaster. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets, so go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Discover a driving experience crafted to inspire. At Garden City Mazda, exceptional design and sophisticated performance come together. During the Mazda More to Move You sales event, lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5 for $229 a month for 33 months. Or the 2025 Mazda CX-50 for $239 a month for 33 months. Both with $49.95 due at signing. It's the Mazda More to Move You sales event at Garden City Mazda. At Garden City Mazda, expect the exceptional.
The holidays are here, and Amazon Pickup is your MVP of package pickup. Need that perfect gift like a brand new jersey for the big game? With Amazon Pickup, you can grab your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule at no extra cost. It's fast, it's easy, and it keeps your holiday surprises tucked safely away. So whether you're running from work or heading to the holiday party, Amazon Pickup makes holiday shopping worry-free. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
You live for this. The wins, the losses, the slam dunks, and the buzzer beaters. The dream that this is your team's year. Hope. It's what keeps you coming back. So you represent with anticipation and with pride. Because when everything's on the line, your support means everything. That's why the NBA Store is here to support you. Check out the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Ty Butler going until 5 o'clock, 880 ESPN. We're streaming live on YouTube, having a good time today. So Matt Miller was on DiPietro and Rothenberg as we continue the football conversation. And he was asked, NFL draft analyst, he was asked, Fernando Mendoza or Justin Dart, who do you grade higher?
I think it'd be Mendoza. And I'm really encouraged by what Jaxson Dart has done this year. So even if we want to factor in how well he's played as a rookie, you know, the questions on Jaxson coming out last year were how well can he acclimate from that Lane Kiffin offense to the NFL? And I do think there are still times where you see that, which is also some of the reason why he's running so much, because there is a little bit of a struggle to get through the progressions, to get through the reads. And so it's, okay, that's not there. My projection's not great. Let me get out of here, try to make something happen with my feet. With Mendoza, and maybe Mendoza wouldn't have the same level of success with the Giants because he does need to operate from the pocket. Now, he rushed for, I think, 6 or 7 touchdowns this year, so he can get out of the pocket, but it is not like Jaxson Dart. It's not like Cam Ward. He's more, you know, he's 6'5", 225, so he'll be more of a short yardage type runner. But I would take Mendoza just because of the processing and accuracy.
So I hear that, like the raw grade is one thing. I just think that a huge part of this has to be, again, and I said this earlier, the stock in having seen Dart perform against NFL defenses, not like projecting what a guy can do against NFL defenses. We've seen it. We've seen it. And there was a point in the year where it's like, could he be Offensive Rookie of the Year? If we did the redraft of 2025, is he the number 1 overall pick? So this is no shade to Mendoza. But if you ask me as a Jet fan, if the Giants offered, and this obviously wouldn't happen, but like if the Jets had the number 1 overall pick, and the Giants was like, yo, we'll take the number 1 overall pick, we'll give you Jaxson Dart, we want to draft Fernando Mendoza. Would I take that? Absolutely. I can't unsee what I've seen from Dart so far this season. Limited sample size, but I know what I'm getting versus the unknown in Fernando Mendoza. Matt Miller was also asked, Dante Moore, might he have a higher ceiling than both those guys, Mendoza or Dart?
I think Dante Moore from Oregon could be the number 1 pick. He could be the first quarterback drafted. That's not a stretch at all, just because of how well he plays. Here's where it gets interesting, though. There's this number, when you talk to NFL scouts, they want a quarterback who's had 25 starts. And you guys are in New York, so Bill Parcells is who started this. The number used to be higher. It's kind of been adapted with how the game has changed. But you want a quarterback who has 25 starts in college. Dante Moore, if Oregon wins the national championship, will have about 18 18, 19 starts, depending on the run that they make. Ty Simpson at Alabama had never started a game before this year. So he's at 13 right now. That is an issue for both of those players. And you can go back and look. There are not exceptions to this rule. Guys who did not start 25 games in college. I mean, we're talking Mitch Trubisky, Trey Lance, Anthony Richardson, players that were drafted highly and did not work out. So I think the experience factor helps Mendoza. Dante Moore is such an exciting player, and he's carried that Oregon team that's had a lot of injuries at wide receiver. He's played in some terrible weather this year at times, like the Iowa game where, it's raining and the wind's blowing like 40 miles an hour, and he's still making plays. I think Dante Moore is the one that could leapfrog Mendoza just based on upside and then based on what he brings to the table from, a potential standpoint, but then also the way that he produced this year. I think it does give you a little bit more of that excitement factor of, okay, this is a playmaker. This is a quarterback that can go out and change our offense. Mendoza's like a great point guard. He's going to go out. He's going to execute. Things are going to be clean. He's going to distribute. Moore is a little bit more of a playmaker.
So let's play this out. The Giants are in Vegas this Sunday. They're 1.5-point dogs on the road. They lose this game. They lose next week. They've got the number 1 overall pick. I think if you're the Giants, you have to be rooting for Dante Moore to return to college. It's the perfect scenario because now there's a premium on the one quarterback everyone's talking about, and that's Mendoza. And if all of these teams are gunning for that one guy, that price just continues to escalate. It goes up and up. Matt Miller said there's a chance Dante Moore can leapfrog Mendoza. So the difference between teams honing in on the one quarterback versus now two is massive in what the Giants can get for that number 1 overall pick, assuming they don't do what Mike Tannenbaum says and they trade down. 800-919-3776. Squeezing Steve in Chappaqua before we end the hour. What's up, Steve?
Hey, I'm gonna with your blessing pivot to baseball.
Okay.
And first of all, Ty, you are the best. My hope in the new year is that you get a regular gig. To me, you'd be perfect in the Grassa time slot every night. You're the best.
Steve,
you're the best.
See, so here's what we work on as far as our New Year's resolutions. Let's practice while handing out compliments to people, not disparaging others. So I appreciate the compliment, but you don't gotta have a little drive-by shooting on my man Dan Grassa.
All right. Let me get to my Yankees point. I want to take the 7th game of the World Series. Tani, second World Series win, Yamamoto MVP. They came dangerously close, the two of them, to be the GOATs of the World Series. Ohtani gives up the 3-1 homer to Bichette in the first inning. Yamamoto gives up the drive to the outfield, took a miraculous catch. Otherwise, he would have been the GOAT. And the reason why they weren't the GOAT, they won the World Series, was because of depth. The home runs late were not from Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. It was from Muncy and Rojas and Will Smith. So you talk about Judge and, Alonso and all these guys. You need depth to win it all.
Pete Alonso?
Yep.
The Yankees
I think
sign?
You need depth.
But you just brought up Alonso. What does Alonso have to do?
No,
with
I'm
the
just saying he's one of the big guys. I said, yes, the big guys are great, but teams need depth. The Yankees need depth. Judge hit 500, but they need guys batting 6, 7, 8 to come through the way the Dodgers did.
Great point, Steve. I appreciate the call. Happy holidays. Yankees, like most teams in baseball, need depth. Great point. 800-919-3776. We go to hour number 2 next. Streaming live on YouTube and right here on the ESPN New York app.
Knicks fans, it's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. Download the BetMGM app today and add a boost of excitement to every New York game day with same-day parlays, live betting options, player props, boosted odds specials, and the best daily promotions in the business. With the BetMGM app at your fingertips, you can experience the excitement of betting on your favorite players and get in on all the blue and orange action as your New York Knicks drive the lane. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the New York Knicks. BetMGM. Make it legendary.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
New York Lottery's holiday scratch-off games are the perfect gift for everyone on your list.
Like me, your Aunt Jules. I told you I didn't need a gift this year, but I secretly really want one.
Or me, your neighbor Frank. I hope you didn't forget I'm coming to your holiday party tonight.
Or me. Why does no one ever think of the voiceover guy? Anyway, New York Lottery's holiday scratch-off games have more winners and top prizes up to $5,000. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
There's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-5 2.5S all-wheel drive for $229 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN S077553, MSRP $30,920. Zero security deposit. Ends 1/2/26.
John Ryan.
Yeah, Dad.
I think I came up with a killer slogan for our law firm. D'Agostino and Associates, bite back.
Bite back?
Yeah. When someone hurts you, you bite back. We'll be the law firm that bites back.
Dad, that's brilliant. Accident victims, call D'Agostino and Associates and bite back. Hey, we could even put a big vicious dog on billboards everywhere.
Yeah, and Rottweilers on buses.
Hey, how about a toll-free number?
What are you thinking?
You know, like 1-800-BITE-BACK.
1-800-BITE-BACK. That's brilliant.
But what if people hear fight back?
Easy. I'll spell it out for them, like 1-800-BITE, back. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Love it. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
All this talk about biting back got me hungry.
Me too. Want to grab lunch?
Sure. Hey, how about a jingle?
You mean like
D'Agostino, law, bite back.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station. Todd.
This isn't Vietnam, it's radio.
Hahn.
I mean, he had a handful of twig and berries.
And Rosenberg.
Everything about it was pure, unadulterated ASS.
This isn't North Dakota. This is New York.
This is Todd, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
The best threesome I've ever heard.
On ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
This isn't North Dakota. This is New York. This is